Hey guys, welcome back. It's been quite a while. I haven't posted anything since I did that live stream some time ago. I just haven't had I don't even know if it's motivation. I've just been too scared to get back in front of the camera and do something so personal. Greg and I have done a lot of stuff where we like what we like, but as far as, kind of talking about what's going on in my life, I've just been kind of too scared and just haven't had the ability to almost. Things have been so crippling at times that I just can't do it. And that's what this channel was meant to be, was, a diary, where I can get all this out and, interact with people if they want to. If not, it's mostly for me. But I haven't even been able to do that. I did finally break down over my dad just a couple weekends ago. I just really hadn't dealt with it. And I was sitting at my computer, listening to some music, and going through some old pictures on my hard drive. And there was a photo of my dad from Christmas of 2017. I'd got him one of those classic Ataris that have a ton of built-in games, and just him sitting there holding it, smiling, and just seeing that smile. I miss it. I miss him. I miss that smile. I miss everything about him. And I just put it off for so long that I just broke down. I cried and I cried. And then when I finally was able to move from my chair, I tried to take a walk, and I couldn't get more than a block from the house and had to come back, and I cried some more. And then I tried to go for a walk again, and I did this like 3 or 4 times. I just couldn't do it. It was so hard. That's why the video on my dad has not been posted yet, is I just haven't been able to revisit it and watch it and edit it. It's been too hard. So I apologize. I know, some of you were wanting to hear about him, and you'll see that. I will put it up at some point. Maybe it'll go up after this one. But, I kind of wanted to hop on here and kind of let you guys know how things were going. Not great. My anxiety has been just insane lately. I recently had a breakdown. On my way home from work, I work third shift, and so I was coming home, and I started to get angry. Just mad for no reason, and I didn't know why. And it just kept building and building. And by the time I got home, I was just pissed. I was pissed off. And so I sat down on my computer and started listening to just the angriest, loudest music I could find. And it kept building more and more. And I didn't know why. And my wife woke up at some point, kind of checked on me to make sure I was okay. And I explained it to her. I said, I don't know why. I don't know where this is coming from. And eventually I kind of started just stomping around the house, just trying to get out the anger. I went outside and was jumping off our front porch, stomping around, walking circles around our yard, and just couldn't shake it. And my stepdaughter was home that day, and she kind of talked to me, and I got to the point where I was laughing because it was so ridiculous that this was happening. I found it so funny that I was so mad. I was just laughing kind of uncontrollably. It was making her laugh, and that was kind of helping. But then I went from that hysterical laughter to crying. I sat down where our oven is. In between the oven and the cabinets, there's the space about wide enough for a person to sit, and I just sat down there and cried. Just not that dirty crying, that ugly, just streaming tears. And she was so kind and so sweet, and I'm really glad she was here. If I'd have been home alone, I would have been a real mess. I don't know. I don't know how I would have dealt with it by myself. But I still don't know where it came from. I really don't. It was just so sudden. Just the worst sort of anxiety attack I've ever had. But I've had, the other day, I had another anxiety attack where I was sitting down to eat, and I was going from the kitchen to our living room, and I started like almost walking like a robot. Like my body just started slowing down, and everything got tight. And when I would try to eat, it was like trying to bring a sandwich up to my face. I just couldn't do it. These things have just been kind of coming on out of nowhere. There is a lot going on. There's some personal things that I won't talk about on here, as far as our family. I don't want to go into that. And that's been tough. It's been tough on all three of us. Something we're kind of dealing with, and so we're all kind of on edge over this. Nothing horrible or anything like that. Just something that we can't control, and we want to be able to help the situation, and we don't know how, and that sucks. It sucks when there's somebody who is hurting and you can't do anything to help them. We just want to be there for this person, these people, and we don't know how. We don't really see them that often, so they're sorry. I'm being so vague, but I kind of have to be. So I don't want to give other people's. That's not for me to do. But that has been on my mind a lot. And again, I just don't know what to do about it. I want to help, but I can't, and that sucks. Just have to let them know that that we are here for them. However, they need us, and that's all we can do. Let them know that they're loved, that they're always welcome here, and we'll listen. We'll talk, we'll make them laugh, we'll do whatever we can to help them out. And that's all we can do. That's as human beings, that is kind of all we can do without, intruding into someone's life. We don't want to do that. I've had that in my own life with people trying to help with my mental illness, trying to inject themselves, and that's not good. I want people to be there for me. Like, that's great. I love that support, but at the same time, I don't want somebody smothering me. The way this works is kind of on my own terms and my brain's own terms. Sometimes I want complete silence. Sometimes I want to be around people and laugh, and sometimes I just want to be held and I want to cry. I recently had an attack. I'd had a little bit to drink. And I ended up on the floor of our closet. Our closet has like those doors that come open. Sure, you know what I'm talking about. But there's 2 bowling bags with bowling balls in them on the floor of our closet, in this little plastic tote type thing that we keep some things in. And I shut myself in that closet with the bottle of whiskey, a shot glass, and my cup of coffee, and just sat there and cried in the closet, like taking shots of whiskey and drinking coffee. It's the only place I knew to go. It was quiet. It was away from people. I don't know. I've just had a lot of, I don't know, maybe it's a midlife crisis. I've just had a lot of things that make me feel like a child. The way I get angry or upset, it's so sudden and unpredictable and just almost tantrum-like, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to talk about. It's embarrassing while it happens. My medication just, I've been through so many different meds over the past few years, and they may work for a day or two, but that may just be kind of my brain just telling me, oh, you're on something new, it's a placebo effect or something. I don't know, but as a whole, they're not working. Everything I've been on, just doesn't seem to be doing anything, and that sucks. I don't want to give up on medication again. That's how I got bad, but at the same time, it's not doing anything. at all. My doctor wanted me to see a therapist, and I'm still really torn on that. So to me, I guess I equate that with being crazy, and I don't want to be crazy. You know, I already feel crazy in my own mind. That just almost solidifies it to me a little bit. And I know lots of people do therapy. You know, that's you know, it's extremely common these days. But it's still a stigma in my own head that I either have to get over or just don't go. You know, just, you know, and I don't know if it'll help, but I won't know unless I go. And I understand that. But it's that whole, the anxiety gets so bad that I can't answer a phone call, I can't make a phone call, you know, planning something like that, it makes me so uncomfortable. But, you know, I've had some really bad days. Had some good days too. There have been some really fun days lately. You know, over the past year or so, my stepdaughter Comet and I have gotten a lot closer, and that just seems to keep building. We spend a lot of time together. My wife works 2 jobs, and so she's gone most of the day. So in the evenings, it's the 2 of us. She works, you know, sometimes on the weekends, on Saturday. So we're hanging out on Saturday, but we're hanging out all night Friday evening. And she's an awesome kid, teenager. She's become, you know, more than just my stepdaughter. She's become my friend. She's somebody I can talk to, somebody that I can hang out with. We don't have a ton of the same interests, but enough that, you know, we mesh really well together. And I'm so thankful to, you know, it's one of those things you think of, like filling out cards for, you know, Christmas or Valentine's Day or birthdays, you know, say something like, you know, I'm so happy you're in my life. That's very true. I'm extremely happy to have this wonderful teenager in my life. She's so creative and so smart and so funny and so kind. So that's been really great. We've had some really fun times, you know, just hanging out at the house, watching YouTube, watching, you know, cartoons, or, you know, going shopping or whatever. She's into cosplay, and I've always been interested in cosplay, so that's something that, you know, we kind of talked about and watched videos together and this sort of thing. And it's something I want to do together with her. And even on We Like What We Like, Greg and I talked about, like, he's interested in cosplay as well. So we'd like to start doing some of that on the channel and getting cosplayers on there and that sort of thing. So it's just another thing to, you know, a way to branch out to another group, you know, to bring more people in and find out about that community ourselves, kind of put our foot into it and see where that goes. We understand that, you know, it can get expensive, but that's just something that would be fun and be fun to go to, you know, conventions, you know, and dresses. You know, we're both Star Wars fans, so it'd be really cool to do some Star Wars cosplay, and I would like to do some horror themed stuff. You know, I always see that at, you know, stuff like Horror Hound, Days of the Dead, you know, going to those horror conventions. And it's just so awesome, the things that these people can do. But, you know, that's something we've kind of been working on. You know, we have a couple videos out now. We just released the first episode of our podcast. It's on YouTube right now. I've submitted it to, you know, iTunes and Stitcher. We're waiting on that. So we'll see how that goes when that comes out. We wanted to release the podcast version, the audio version first, which, I mean, on YouTube it's an audio as well. But we wanted the actual podcast to be out like a week before we released it on YouTube, but we just wanted to, you know, get some content out. And, you know, if you haven't already, you know, head on over to We Like What We Like, you know, give it a, you know, check it out, see if it's something you're interested in. I think a lot of you already are subscribed to it, but if you're not, you know, do me a favor. You know, we're really proud of what we're doing there. It's a lot of fun. You know, if you like it, subscribe, you know, give us a like. You know, we'd love to have you guys, you know, interact with us, leave some comments. You know, we want to really get a community going there. We've got so much planned for that channel, a lot of exciting stuff, and we keep kind of looking towards the future, things we want to do when we get to a certain point, and like we're ready to get to that point because there, you know, just some really exciting things that, you know, we kind of have planned. But, you know, it's baby steps, and we understand that. You know, we don't have a ton of followers just yet, but you know, it's just exciting that, you know, we hope, you know, we'd like to get there at some point to be able to do things, you know, live streams and we'd like to eventually get like involved in Twitch, play games and stuff like that. And I kind of, mentioned it on here. I'd like to do live streams on here. If you guys are interested in that, I can start kind of planning live streams. Kind of see, maybe it's something we can figure out on like Facebook, when the best time is. It'd probably have to be the weekends, because I work through the week. I work third shift, so it'd probably have to be like a Friday or Saturday. But if there's maybe we could do that. You guys could ask questions, and it doesn't even have to be about what this channel's about. It doesn't have to be about mental illness or whatever. It can just be about my hobbies. You see video games and movies and toys behind me. We could talk about that. We've been talking a lot about that on We Like What We Like, but we can do a kind of a one-on-one kind of thing on this channel, if that's something you guys are interested in. Have some drinks, talk, that sort of thing. I think it'd be a lot of fun, and a good way to converse with you guys. Find out what you guys struggle with. I'd like to hear that. It helps me. Relating to people in that way really helps. Again, I talked about it before. I've met some really cool people, through Instagram, who suffer from mental illness, and it's been really great to connect with people in that way. I'm really happy to have met some really cool people, some people that I consider friends now. I will say, on a very exciting note, coming up March 15th, 16th, and 17th, I believe, in Cincinnati, Ohio, I will be at Horror Hound Weekend with Chris Seaver from the Warlock Video Network. I'll be hanging out at there. He's going to have a table there. I'll be hanging out there with him and his friend Josh all weekend long. So if you happen to be, at Horror Hound, and I'd love to see you, especially if we've never met before, that would be really great. If you are, stop by, say hi, or shoot me a message or leave a comment, and I'll look for you. That would be just super cool. Maybe we could shoot a short little video, that I could throw up on the channel later. And maybe even two, we could shoot one for, We Like What We Like, where we, kind of ask you some questions about your collections or video games or whatever, or horror, since, we're at a horror convention. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. If you're not subscribed to Warlock Video Network yet, go check them out. It's 80s, a little bit of 90s, horror, Star Wars, collections, toys, all that kind of stuff. And it's headed up by Chris Seaver, who's a filmmaker who's been making movies for like 25 years or more. If you're not familiar with his work, you should check him out. I will leave a link below to their channel, but you should definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. Chris has become a friend of mine over the years. I was a fan of his work, and I had reached out to him at one point where I was working on a documentary on shot on video films. And so that's how we got in contact, and slowly, we started talking more, and then we've met up a couple times at conventions, and he's invited me to come, spend the weekend with them at this convention. So it's one of those things where making friends through the internet, can pay off and become real friends. He's somebody that I actually talk to, and when I can get to hang out with. He lives in Rochester, New York. That's a long way from where I'm at in Indiana. So it's not like I can just pop on over to his house on the weekend or something like that. But he's a great guy, and he's been really amazing as far as support. He has some issues with depression and stuff, so we've not only horror and toys in the 80s and stuff like that, but we've clicked on that as well. It's been nice to have somebody who understands that and is also interested in the same things as I am. So that's been really cool. I know there's a lot more that I was going to talk about, but it's all kind of just gone right now. But thanks to you guys for the constant support. I really do appreciate it. Again, chat with me. I'll leave my, I tend to leave my email down below if you guys want to do that instead of, publicly. I put my Instagram. You can message me on the Facebook page if you follow the Facebook page. If you don't feel comfortable airing these things out in public, I totally understand. It's very hard, very difficult. So if that's an option for you, you're welcome to. But I appreciate all of you watching these videos. It means so much to me. It really does. I mention it almost every time. This channel isn't about views. It isn't about gaining subscribers. That would be great. That'd be really cool. If you guys want to share these videos, if you think someone might get something out of them, that's great. But again, this is for me. It's just a way to get this shit out without actually talking to someone, because I'm not always good at that. I don't know what to say when I'm kind of speaking one-on-one. Sometimes I kind of freeze up, and I'm afraid I'll say something stupid or embarrassing. I found that is one thing lately that, there's some people that I've kind of met on Instagram that, like, man, I'd really like to reach out to them and actually talk to them, but I'm just too worried that I'll say something stupid or I'll come off as creepy, or it's a tough thing, as an adult. To make friends, you kind of always hope that the other person will reach out to you, and a lot of times they're thinking the same thing, so it's frustrating. But that's all I've got for right now, you guys. I'm gonna try to start doing more regular stuff, and I might start to do some other things too. Sometime back I did that like pickup video where I showed off some things. I might do that. Some of those kind of things that maybe cross on here and on the other channel, but maybe talk about some things, some more personal items, from my collection that actually mean something to me and hold special memories. But thanks again for joining me, guys. I'll talk to you soon.